going to be buried in Zambia. And we appreciate the judgment that has been given by the court. It's a summary judgment, South Africa. If the family just handed down, they may appeal, but they appeal with the order. This is a man who was president of Zambia.
Hence, alone today,
I think it's a learning
for the other two judges to be present.
Who intended to become
I'll
president
read the summary for the benefit of the media
that they are not
in the reporting of the case.
Their family, immediate family.
This summary does not form part of the judgment.
The nation. And so we want to thank the court for having
the judgment will be made available to the parties and those who are also interested in the copy of the judgment.
The responsibility is given to the government.
The summary goes as follows. In the matter of the government of the Republic of Zambia,
on African World Hour,
and others.
And we go back to Dr. Fred Member for more reaction on the Pretoria High Court ruling that the body of former Zambian President Edgar Lungu be repatriated back to Zambia to be buried there, saying that it is in the public interest. Meanwhile, as we've mentioned, his family is filing court papers to appeal the decision at the Supreme Court of Appeal. Now, back to Dr. Fred Member, you are saying that you believe that many Zambian nationals echo the pain, the sentiment expressed by former President Edgar Lungu's sister in court. And what is the litmus test for this? You say you have it on good authority. Is it based on the sentiments that have been publicly expressed, or what is behind that sentiment?
The body of the late President Edgar Lungu,
Well, I cannot speak for her. But when a person is in pain, the way she is, so many things are said.
Edgar Lungu be repatriated
in the Zambian tradition, they say when someone is mourning, they have the liberty to say whatever they say, and you don't hold against them. You don't hold it against them.
That in accordance with the Zambian
so
the former president,
when one is mourning, they can say whatever they want to say.
It is ordered
but it's a painful period for them.
To repatriate
their relative, their brother, their father, their husband, has been in the fridges for almost 60 days now.
In Embassy Park,
2 months.
Republic of Zambia.
That's a long period.
Held that under Zambian law,
they needed to bring a closure to this. Losing someone dear, someone so close, is a very painful process. Not being able to calmly and quietly bury them, it's additional pain. The judgment of the court today leaves many questions.
It is
that deserve honest answers.
To repatriate,
and I think the family has decided to appeal against that judgment, and I think rightly so.
And burial
that appeal does not put a closure to everything. Yes, it stops the process of the Zambian government taking the body of Mr. Lungu back to Zambia. It stops that. But it continues the pain of the family for more and more days, which we don't know when this process will end. The best thing would have been for the Zambian government to say, we have done the best that we could in our desire to bring back the body of President Lungu for burial in Zambia. We leave it to the family to decide what they want to do.
Judge
they are the most affected. They are the most pained than any of us. They feel the burden, they feel the loss.
Ordered that the applicant is entitled to
I want to ask you as a lawyer.
The body of the late President Edgar Lungu.
As a lawyer, I'm sure you've read the judgment, and I want to talk about your understanding of how the court reached this decision. And it seems to, from what the judgment implies, have looked at the developments up until the point where there was a disagreement between the two families. But the legal test that the Pretoria High Court says it applies, is it in sync with what Zambian law would then say on this matter?
The court
That's
held
what
that
is
under
shocking to
Zambian
some of
law,
us who are lawyers
and
in
as a
Zambia.
matter of public policy,
The law that the
a former president's
Pretoria High
personal
Court was
wishes
depending on does
or
not
the
exist
wishes
in
of
Zambia.
his family
There is no such
cannot
law in
outweigh the
Zambia
right
that
of
the
the
court
state
was
to
referring
honor
to. There
that
isn't any
individual
such
with
law,
a state funeral and burial,
and I can
that
challenge
the
anyone
official
to bring
site
the law.
designated for
There
national
isn't any such
leaders.
law that the court was depending on.
Judge Ledwawa also ordered
So,
that the funeral service provider
we are shocked
handle keeping
here.
the remains of Mr. Lungu
To say the least,
must, upon receiving
the
the order
judgment
from the
leaves
sheriff
many
of the
questions
court,
that
hand
need
over
answers.
the body
Dr.
to
Member, is that
representative
not
of the Zambian
as a
government
function
appointed to
of the
oversee
fact that
repatriation
South
protocols?
Africa applies Roman
eighth
Dutch law,
respondent
whereas Zambian law, I understand, is English common law? Is that
authorized and
not where the
ordered
disjuncture
upon
lies?
service of the court order by
It
the
doesn't
sheriff
even
of this
lie
honorable
there.
court
Even if both of
to
us were using
immediately
common
surrender
law,
the body of the late
there
President
would
Lungu
still be
to a
the same issues.
representative or representative
There
of the
would still
Zambian
be
High
the same
Court
issues.
to
And
enable
also
the
that
applicant
issue is
to
not strict.
repatriate the body to Zambia.
He further ruled that the body should be accompanied by
An
other seven
issue of the law of
respondents in the
contract.
case, led by former First Lady Esther Lungu. The court
It's
also said the
not
body may be accompanied by former President Lungu's
not
aide de camp
an
or
issue of the
physician.
law.
And speaking
Contract.
to journalists immediately
And also,
after the judgment
if
in
it was a
Pretoria,
contract,
Attorney
they had
General
to
Mulilo Kalisha
scrutinize
said there was no celebration or winner in the matter.
The court has ordered that
the
our reliefs be granted, and they have been granted.
I wonder
And
if I could
so
ask you
the
to move
remains
around,
will
Dr.
be
Member, and
repatriated
hopefully
to
see
Zambia
if the
for burial,
connection
and the
between
court
us
has
improves. So
been
you say it's
specific.
not
That
an
is Embassy
issue
Park,
of the law
where
of
we
contract. In
bury
fact, that it's
all the
more than the
presidents.
issue.
Court does not
past presidents who
address
die
those
and
issues.
the
So I think the
serving
family
presidents.
has done well to
Mr. Kalisha
appeal the
added that
judgment.
Secretary to the Cabinet,
Although
Patrick
it's
Kangwa,
at
will now take over
greater
preparations
pain
for
to
the
them.
repatriation and will inform the nation on the next steps.
So the
duty
common
has
cause
ended.
aspects dealt with
The other
by the
processes
court
will
in the
be
manner in which
taken over
they
Yes.
are
by the
framed.
Secretary to the
Pretoria
Cabinet,
directed itself.
who make those
It has
arrangements to
passed it in many
repatriate
forms.
the body to Zambia. And there have been no costs awarded
Dr. Member,
to any,
I'm asking about
not even to
sounding
the government of the
disrespectful to
Republic
the
of Zambia.
court.
Costs have not been ordered to be paid. So each party will bear their own costs.
And
It
reacting
is
to the
really
judgment,
such a
retired
pity that
Brigadier
such an
General
important
Tikhon
conversation
Mathe, a
that
former
we're
officer
having
in the
such
South African Air Force,
technical
called for
problems.
peace
I'm
and
going to
unity
see
among
if
all parties
Dr.
involved.
Member can hear us again, and we're going to really give it a last ditch attempt to see if we can get some, coherent conversation out of this because of just how bad the signal is. Dr. Member, so you're saying you wouldn't want to interfere with the courts
In reading the summary of the case,
and
Judge
obviously
Ledwawa
their
said the
ruling,
Zambian government
but it
agreed
sounded like
that the
a
former president is
criticism
not an
or
ordinary
a
citizen,
different
and
perspective
that their
was in the
personal wishes
offing. Can I
do not
ask you to
override the
continue
public
with that
interest
train of
was one
thought?
of the anchors of the judgment. The court dismissed the intervention application
I
and
think the
reaffirmed
court
that
also
under Zambian
goes
law,
on
the
to
former
deal
president
with
must
issues.
be given a state funeral.
The ruling by the Pretoria High Court in South
The
Africa
orders
ordering
given
that the
were
remains
not
of former
sought. The
President Edgar
remedies
Lungu
were
be
not sought.
repatriated back
It's
to
not
Zambia
issues
for a
applied.
state funeral brings to finality
The
a period
bringing
of
in of the
uncertainty
Zambian embassy
where
to
government
immediately
was
take the body,
requesting for the
that's
former
not what was
president's
sought
remains to
for.
be repatriated back to Zambia.
Even the
for a
Attorney
state
General
funeral
had
to be
to
buried at Embassy
restrain
Park,
himself in the
as
interviews
is
he
with
was
all
giving
other
to
former
the
presidents
media.
that have been buried there.
Uh,
Masauso, Mukwaya,
I think
ZNBC
it's
News,
good that the
Pretoria,
family has
South
appealed,
Africa.
and it may help to settle the law better by the Supreme Court.
The Pretoria High Court has ordered that the remains
So,
of 60th President
do you
Edgar Lungu
anticipate that
be
even
repatriated from
though
South Africa to Zambia
it would be
for burial
based
at
on,
Embassy
as
Park?
you say, while there are differences in the types of laws that both countries practice, that there may be a different
Delivering the
reading,
unanimous judgment on
understanding,
behalf
or
of two other
perhaps
Judge Aubrey Ledwawa
angle
further
of
directed that in
how the
accordance with the
Supreme
Zambian
Court
law, the
deals
former
with this matter. And
president
in
be
that
accorded
case,
a state
on
funeral.
why would you have
It is ordered
such
that
confidence?
the
Is it because it's a
applicant
higher
is
court?
entitled to repatriate the body of the late
Well, that's why
President
there is
Edgar
a high